Welcome back to CarTech Connect. In today's video, we're going to check out the new features CarPlay is bringing with the new iOS 18 update. And stick around until the end of the video because I have a surprise for you. I'm going to tell you what I think is the most important new feature in iOS 18 for CarPlay. Unfortunately, I won't be able to show it to you unless one of you can lend me a hand. I'll explain later. Okay, let's start with the most important new features, at least in my opinion. Then, at the end, we'll talk a bit about the more cosmetic updates. But first, let's focus on the most useful ones. Again, in my view, I think the most significant improvements are in accessibility. Let's start with voice control. As we can read here, voice control lets you use your iPhone's microphone to control CarPlay with voice commands. This is especially interesting because if you remember one of my last videos, I explained that starting next year, EURONCAP is going to be stricter with safety regulations. This is because car manufacturers are removing physical buttons. I hope they are taking into account that in some cases, screens can be operated by voice without having to touch them. In this case, we activate it, and you can see this icon has appeared here. This means the phone's microphone is activated, and we can now use our voice to control things. Let's try it out. Go back. Go home. Swipe right. Swipe left. Swipe left. Open Maps. Pan left. Pan right. Pan up. Double tap. Alright, I'll leave a link in the description with some voice commands you can try out. Here's another interesting feature. While it's not directly related to CarPlay, it is useful when you're in a moving car, not as the driver, but as a passenger. Have you ever felt nauseous while using your phone in a car driving on winding roads? Well, this feature here in the accessibility menu lets you activate these dots you see here. When the car moves, they move along with it, using the phone's gyroscope. They say this will prevent motion sickness. It's worth a try. And still on the topic of accessibility, we also have some improvements in color filters. If we activate them, we can see different color filters here. Grayscale, red-green filter, green-red, blue-yellow. These filters are designed for people with color blindness. This can be really helpful for them. Or for example, if we have an AirTag or any Apple device and it's lost somewhere in the car, this feature can also help us find it. Hey Siri, where's my Apple Watch?
Searching for Apple Watch. It's nearby. Contacting Apple Watch to play a sound.
There's another interesting thing in accessibility for people who are hard of hearing. Sound recognition. With this feature, we can set it to recognize sounds like a car horn or a siren. Another interesting feature is in the settings, silent mode. Until now, CarPlay would simply mirror the phone's silent mode setting. Now we can set it separately. This means we can have silent mode activated on the phone, but still receive directions through the car speakers with CarPlay, or vice versa. In Maps, there's a new feature I was going to tell you about later, because it's just a cosmetic change. They've improved the text to make it easier to read. But what I wanted to point out is that I don't understand why they still don't allow zooming in on the screen with this gesture. To zoom, we have to tap on the plus or minus signs. There's another way to do it, which is by double tapping up or down if we want to zoom in or out. Got it? The panning is the same. It hasn't changed. Another new feature is with Siri, which now also gives us information on the screen. For example, hey Siri, what's the weather going to be like tomorrow?
Expect clear skies tomorrow. Daytime temperatures will be around 22 degrees with minimum nighttime temperatures of approximately 12 degrees.
Hey Siri, what was the score of Barcelona's last game?
Barcelona beat Getafe by 1-0 the day before yesterday in their La Liga match.
Let's move on to the improvements that are mostly cosmetic, as I mentioned before. The first one I wanted to mention is that this button, this icon here, has changed. This one is for going back to the menu with the icons, and this one is for going back to the split screen view with the map and audio. It's a very minor change. What I do think is new is that now, if you hold down the icon, Siri is activated. Okay?
I'm glad we agree.
Great. As usual with every new version, we have new wallpapers. These 4 here. They always do this. Honestly, I don't really care, but I guess some people like it, so that's why they do it. And another improvement is in message reception. Now, we see the profile picture of the person sending the message, if we have it saved.
From Ines, hi.
Another thing they've improved, so to speak, is that in the music screen of the Apple Music app, the album art is bigger. As we can see here, this is how it looked before, a bit smaller. And what's that super important new feature I mentioned at the beginning? Well, starting with this version iOS 18, we now have CarPlay 2. This means CarPlay can integrate data from the vehicle. This is something I already hinted at in one of my previous videos, which I'll link in the description. In that video, I explained the new version of CarPlay, CarPlay 2. In this case, the first manufacturer to integrate data is Porsche. For now, the initial version only incorporates data about the car's climate control, but they will gradually add new information. Unfortunately, as I mentioned at the beginning, I don't have a Porsche, I have a Cupra Ateca, so I won't be able to show you this new CarPlay feature. But if any of my followers or anyone watching this video has a Porsche, lives in Barcelona, and is willing to help me record this video, please let me know, and we'll figure out how to do it. This version of iOS 18 also incorporates artificial intelligence features, but unfortunately, they are not yet available in Spain. I promise to make another video about these new features as soon as they become available. So don't forget to subscribe and activate the notification bell so you don't miss it. See you in the next video. Bye.